Yeah, hello everyone. So today we are going to discuss something very important topic. So we have covered a lot of observed manual testing concepts in our previous classes, and today and tomorrow we'll be discussing more about uh, the real world or real projects or real world situations and how can we be in line with it. Okay, so first thing is right the you need to understand what are the share the screen. Yeah, let me know once you see the screen. Okay.
Yes, Vinod, we are able to see the screen. Not bad.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, it's very important when you prepare a resume, right? When you prepare a resume and when you go for an interview or when you apply for a job posting anywhere, or someone is telling you, hey, this is the job description, and we are looking for a tester, right? So obviously there are different naming convention in this world. People call that as a QA. Inside QA there are again two. One is quality assurance, another is quality analyst. So don't blindly, if someone is saying QA, don't blindly send the resume, right? So just ask them what are the roles and responsibilities. What is that now? Roles and responsibilities. Very important. It might be an assurance team where we talked about the auditing. They might be looking at that specific role. So we should be very much clear in asking what is the R&R. So initially, once you complete the manual testing, you should be targeting the jobs like manual tester, right? Or a functional tester, or test engineer, or let's say QA engineer. There might be n number of names. Okay? Let's say people say quality, right? Quality analyst, quality, or I can say manual testing engineer. Yeah. So the names are different, but ideally, ideally, what you do, and you should be more specific if you are not interested to learn automation. When someone is asking about testing role, so you should be more specific. Whether you are looking, you should tell I'm only manual tester. Okay, but if you plan to learn automation, then combinedly you can say you are a manual and automation tester. Okay. Okay. Now, having said that, we have different roles. Now we understand inside that this is the roles. Okay. What is this called as responsibilities? And now we know what is this. So let us understand what are this as well. Okay. Now if I go to any Naukri, so let me share the screen properly. If I go to Naukri and you know search for a manual tester position. Okay. Now what they're looking at here is, see, this is the job highlight they're asking. They're saying candidates from capital market and investment banking domain. Capital market and investment banking domain. So this comes under what? This comes under banking and financial sector, correct? Now, along with that, they're asking there should be knowledge of SQL and testing concepts. What is the next requirement? Design and execute test cases. Analyze the requirements. Report the progress to the test lead. And what do you mean by this hybrid work model? Can someone tell me? What do you mean by this hybrid work model?
2 days,
2 days
days
work from
office and
home. We are work from home.
remote.
Okay, and also it is they're expecting both one waterfall and agile. They're saying two things. One, partially you should work from home, and also this might be related to any working model of agile or waterfall. Right now, in this, you are familiar with this. Okay, you are familiar with this testing concepts. You are familiar with this, whether you need to go to office or not, or what methodology they are using it. Now, this is the knowledge that I are asking. And then it's up to you whether you want what kind of extra knowledge that you want to have. Whether you want to have extra knowledge is performance testing. You want to go through some videos and make up that, okay, along with the manual testing, you also study performance. Or along with the manual testing, I'm interested in database, interested in SQL. Then I learn few SQL queries. I learn some SQL and put my into the resume that I know SQL. Correct. Now this requirement, of course, the domain is important. That is where I was specifically telling you to make sure you have a proper domain knowledge. Any master, any two, but good to have at least three. Okay. Now again, these are all the responsibilities. See, most of the responsibilities we have discussed. This test design, understanding the requirements, review of the documentation, attendance of the meetings, functional test case design, requirement review and walkthrough with BA. That's execution of regression because now we are talking about manual. Now, execution of regression testing manually. Share the daily and weekly reports with automation and test cycles. Okay. Now, this one root cause analysis of any defect. I told you, right? Isolation of the defect. What do you mean by isolation? Why that defect is coming? Which scenario is coming? That is nothing but the root cause analysis. Test maintenance of test regression test scripts or automation. As of now, you know only manual. Then this is test maintenance. Peer review, QA checks. We have discussed what is peer review. We have discussed text test execution, report progress to lead, adhere to all the testing process, and use the standard templates during the releases. Okay. Now, what are the core testing knowledge, behavior they're expecting? Clear understanding of testing concepts. Now, let's have a checkpoint. Do you have clear understanding of the testing concepts? Now, you decide yourself. Good analytical skills. How to test an application efficiently? What kind of techniques? How can I efficiently write the test cases? We'll talk about this. Manual testing with internet banking domain, investment banking domain, sorry. SQL basic query. Anyway, this is not important, not mandatory to have. It's just good to have. See here. Excellent interpersonal and presentation skills. Can you read this? What is? Can you read someone, please? Everyone. What is this?
Excellent interpersonal and presentation
Interpersonal and
skills.
presentation skills.
Excellent in
We have that.
interpersonal presentation skills.
Yeah. Do we have that?
Present
No.
or
Decide
there in
yourself.
future we will.
Yeah. Strong time management. Do we have it? Decide yourself. Strong in verbal and written communication. I told you how to write an emails, how to type a messages. This is what I was mentioning. Strong verbal and written communication. Now, should be self-motivated and manage the assigned testing activity individually. I told you self-organizing team. You should, someone should not be following you. Someone should not be telling you what to do. Manage flexible timings to ensure availability during test execution phases. I told you very clearly, irrespective of your time. If there is a release, right, you cannot leave the office. If there is a release, you cannot close for the day. You have to execute the test cases, whatever it is. That is where it says manage flexible timings to ensure availability. Okay, you take any testing. See, this is another one. Track defects, create and maintain testing reports. Now here, these people are not asking SQL, they are asking performance. So update the test cases, thorough understanding of the testing concepts, end-to-end testing, analyze the test results, report to the development team, report bugs and errors to the development team. Did we not discuss most of the topics here? Did we not discuss?
Yeah, you
Yes or
discussed a lot.
no?
Yes,
We
Vinod.
discuss.
Now see here, this is another responsibility. Create test case designs, testing process, test case, test the data, carry out the testing as per the procedures, participate in walkthroughs, test procedures, understand the OpenStack for some cloud testing, ensure the test cases. See, all work with cross-functional teams, ensure that the quality is the software development life cycle, test case designing, closure, participate actively, functional system, regression, participate in product functional reviews, test specification, documentation reviews. See here, QA peer reviews, stakeholders, communicate effectively with developers, execute the planned test cases, provide timely and accurate analysis findings, root cause, determining the root cause of the problems, interact, see this one, interact with senior internal and external personnel, able to communicate or present the whole product team, especially across the product, able to communicate or present. So this makes very, very important that as a tester, you should communicate better. You should present yourself. Okay. Hope you got the seriousness of the roles and responsibilities inside your project. When you prepare a resume, your roles and responsibilities matters a lot, and it's very, very important. People might ask you, first question is, can you please tell me about your project? Please remember this. Interview flow starts like this. Can you please tell me about yourself? Is the first question. Next, the second question, generally people ask, can you please tell me about your project? Now he's asking, what is your project? He's asking, what is the use of your project? Now, example, I I am asking you, what is your project? Are you telling me, sir, I worked in a project called Aadhaar card. I'm asking you, what is this all about? How it is useful? Let's say this Aadhaar card explanation. Aadhaar card is a web application. They provide Aadhaar numbers to the Indian citizens. It is a kind of a form. What is use of an Aadhaar card? So you should tell the importance. Correct. Now, next question will be, what are your roles and responsibilities inside this project? Now you have to tell I worked as a manual tester or I worked as a automation tester. What is your major responsibility? I played a role as a manual tester. I am expertise in understanding the requirements. I am very strong in this domain. I design the test cases. I execute the test cases. I participated. You should tell the importance, responsibilities that we discussed. Make a notes of yourself. Certify that responsibilities. You should be able to tell someone is asking this question without any Okay, hope you understand the importance of roles and responsibilities. So that is where we are spending some time on this. This will be very, very helpful. Very, very important topic. All right. Okay. Great. Guys, I want you to be very focused and please understand what is going on. This is going to be a everything will be connected. If you miss one line or if you miss some discussion, then it will be very confusing. Okay, it is going to be a continuation session. Everything will should be an interconnected. Otherwise, you'll not understand. Okay. Now what we understand in the SDLC process, correct? We have a session called requirement gathering, correct? So this is a generic phase. Requirement gathering happens in every project, in every scenario. We do this, but we have a different criteria, different way of gathering the requirements. And we know when it comes to agile, right? When it comes to agile methodology, what it says, out of 10 requirements, right? It tells us do not do requirement gathering for all the requirements. It says do small and some bits and pieces. Example. Now, now who prioritize that? Who will prioritize the requirements? It is
Product
the
owner.
product product owner will prioritize the requirements. Right? Product owner will prioritize the requirements. Right? Now he might tell 10 requirements out of it. Now start with two requirements. Our product owner and SM. Who is SM?
Scrum Master.
Scrum Master. Very good. Is that Scrum Master? So they both together sit and plan they'll do the sprint plan. Correct. Now, what happens in sprint plan? How this 10 requirements should be delivered. How this 10 requirements should be delivered. Now, product owner comes from the customer side. Scrum Master comes from our company side. They both will sit and they say, okay, Scrum Master will ask, sir, product owner, like when you want this project to go live, what is your plan? So they will discuss. Okay, this is not your uh, scope, but you have to understand what is happening in the agile. That is very, very important. Now, is that one? Okay, yeah. Now, out of this, out of these 10 requirements, right, they said, okay, you can, product owner suggested, you can deliver two requirements. You can deliver two requirements. Okay. Now let's consider 2 weeks. Okay. Now let's start. Let's start from 24th of February. 24th February. Correct. Now I told you it is going to be a working days. Correct. Starting from 24th of February. Right. Now each 2 weeks that is called as one sprint one. What is that called as? Sprint one. What right? What is the start and end date of sprint? 24th is the start date. End date is what? March 7th. Correct? Right? Getting point, guys. So please concentrate here. Look, everything is connected. If you miss, you will not understand. Total 10 requirements. 2 requirements should be delivered every 2 weeks. And your SM is planning this one, how this can be delivered. Now he's telling 2 requirements, 2 weeks sprint, right? Now, how many sprints that we need to deliver the 10 requirements, guys?
5 sprints.
5 sprints.
5 sprints, right? One, two, three, four, five, right? Now, let's name it. Number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, right? Now, this is the sprint 1. Okay. Can it be reduced? We'll put like this. Okay. Now, what would be the sprint 2 dates? Yes, March 10th, right? March 10th to March 21st. March 10th to 21st March. Okay. Now, vice versa, these are all the dates. Okay. Now, we discussed every sprint to have a sprint cycle, correct? What we do? We do requirement analysis, right? We do
Test.
designing, we
Designing,
do development,
development, we do
testing,
testing, and we
deployment.
Release tracking.
Right. Release, deployment, and feedback. The naming convention might be different, but this is a cycle generally happens. Each sprint, you have this cycle. Each sprint, you have the cycle. Right? Now, we should follow what? We should follow sprint ceremonies, correct? What are the sprint ceremonies? How many are there? How many sprint ceremonies, guys? What happened?
Sprint meetings,
Four,
daily
sir.
stand.
4.
Stand up.
sprint planning, daily stand-up,
Sprint
sprint review, and retrospectivity.
Retrospective.
4 sprints per
Right,
cycle.
was sprint
Okay.
planning, stand-up meeting, sprint review, and retro.
Retrospective.
So those are the sprint ceremonies that we're going to follow. Every end of the sprint, we have retrospective meeting that we discussed yesterday. Correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Every end of the sprint, we have retrospective meeting.
Yes.
What happens in retrospective meeting?
All the positive and
After
negatives.
completing the
All the
demo,
positive and the
feed-
negative points we will
feedback
discuss.
from
all
the
the
client.
good and bads, right? All the good and bads, positive, negative, customer feedback will be discussed, so that
Yes.
the problems, whatever we face, we're not going to face in sprint to
Next
sprint.
sprint.
Okay, right? That's it. Very clear. We know sprint ceremonies, what happens, everything. Correct. Okay. All right. Now we know in the SDLC process, we know there is a FRS document, right? But in Agile, we know there is a product backlog document. Yes or no?
Yes.
In
Yes.
SDLC,
Yes.
there is FRS. But in Agile process, Agile methodology, we have a product
Backlog.
backlog. Now, what it contains? It contains all the requirements. Correct?
Requirements. Yes.
All the requirements, not requirements. It contains all the requirements. Correct? Now, based on the product owner, right? There will be a sprint backlog document which contains
Only
which
main
contains what?
requirements.
Requirements with prioritization.
Main requirements.
Requirements with prioritization. Now let's all have 10 requirements out of 10. There will be a there will be a there will be kind of prioritization. Okay, now remember this. I'll be talking about this in few minutes. From the product backlog, there will be a prioritization. Or prioritization, based on what prioritization, we will be looking at in few minutes. Okay. Now, who prepares the sprint backlog? Scrum Master, along with product owner. From the product backlog. Okay. Now your sprint backlog is having a prioritized requirements. Now let's say it is two requirements. Right? So first clear. So far it is clear.
Clear, Vinod.
Clear, Vinod.
It's clear.
In the SDLC process, what we do, we prepare. What is the hierarchy? From the FRS document, we prepare test scenarios. From the test scenarios, we prepare test cases. Once we prepare the test cases, we execute test cases. Once we execute test cases, if we found any defects, we raise a defect.
Defect.
If we raise defects, we follow the defects with developers. Right? This cycle keeps on rotating. Defects are posted. What we do, correct? This is the understanding that we have. Yes or no? In
Yes,
SDLC.
sir.
Yes,
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 yes.
Vinod.
Okay. Okay. Now, please focus here. In Agile, there's a slight difference how we do it. Okay. Here, we have a backlog. We know. Contains all the requirements
Vinod, your voice
out of
Voice
which
is stuck.
sometimes.
Your
You know,
voice.
your
Is
voice
it?
is breaking.
No.
It's not clear. Your voice having some disturbance.
No, let me reconnect back. Okay, guys. Now, is that clear?
Yes, Vinod.
Yes, yes.
Yes, Vinod.
Background noise is coming.
Okay. Background noise.
Kavita, can you please go on mute in between? Yeah, now okay, Vinod.
Is it fine? Let me
Yeah,
know if
yeah,
you're
no,
facing.
fine.
I'll switch off the fan. I don't know. I've reduced the fan. Now it is it's no sound at all. But let me know if you're not listening properly. Okay. Okay. Now, so far it is clear. So far, you have any doubts here in this cycle? Any doubts?
No, no.
No, Vinod.
No, no, no.
All right. Okay. Now we have a sprint backlog. Right. Now, here, very important. Please understand. So what happens is the product owner, right? We prepare a test scenarios here, right? test scenarios is very high level, right? The product owner will prepare. It is another name of test scenario is epic. Okay, product owner will prepare epics. Okay, now it is not mandatory, but Scrum Master will be preparing user stories, which is nothing but a detailed functionality which needs to be set. Now, example, in my project, there is no Scrum Master, right? Now, the preparation of the user stories will be taken care by the QA lead. But the companies who have mandatory agile process, Scrum Master will prepare the user stories. Who will prepare the epic?
Product
Product
owner.
owner.
You understand now who prepares what? This will be interview question. People will ask, have you ever prepared epics in your project? Now, what do you mean by epic? Epic is very high level functionality of the application. Very high level. User stories are the detailed functionality which needs to be tested. Now, we'll see some examples. Who prepare this? Product owner will prepare epic. Scrum
Product
master
owner.
will prepare user stories. And example. Okay. Now, again, this is something where you need to understand. Every process in IT, right? It can be tailored. It can be tailored based on the organization needs. If there is no Scrum Master, QA lead will be doing it. If there is no QA lead, project manager will be doing it. There might be no product owner from the customer side. Scrum Master alone will be managing Epic and is managing user stories. Okay? There's no hardcore rule that the customer should have product owner. What customers do? If they want, they will hire one product owner, right? Example like this. If it's a USA project, they'll hire one product owner, right? And they will give him the requirements, and he will be driving the project, right? Now this product owner will connect to the Scrum Master of India. These people both will execute the project. Now sometimes there will be no product owner. Scrum Master directly talks to the customer and prepare the epics, right? Sometimes there will be no Scrum Master. There will be only one PM who will be managing the requirements, epics, and user stories. Okay, but ideally, please understand, as per the agile best practices, Scrum team is nothing but your product owner, your Scrum Master, your developers, testers inside the project. So, for any confusion,
No, Vinod.
No, Vinod.
No, Vinod.
now we know test scenarios, nothing but the epics are created, and we know user stories. User stories, right? It is a detailed level of what needs to be tested. Very simple. Okay. Now, inside the user stories, now example, user story, login functionality need to be tested. There should be subtask, right? How that needs to be tested. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, open URL, enter username and password, click on submit button, This is how we test the login functionality. So inside what is the hierarchy? You have epics first. Under epics, you have multiple user stories. Under one user story, you have multiple subjects. Again, I'll repeat this. You have epic, one epic. Under one epic, you have multiple user stories. Under one epic, you have multiple user stories. Under each user story, you have multiple subtasks. Any doubts so far?
No, no, no.
No, Vinod.
Yes.
No, Vinod.
No, Vinod.
Yes, sir.
Having this understanding, okay? Having this understanding, let's proceed further on the presentation side.
నీతోటి చేపించుకుందాం
What is here on the screen?
Epic
Epic
and
content
story. Epic
story.
and
That
story.
story.
Correct. So story is nothing but the user story. Now, what is the epic says? Epic is a description of what a client wants or a client needs with less functionality and no functional details. Epic in Agile is a big part of work, which can be divided into small user stories. And Epic can be spread across sprints and even across Agile teams. So Epic is a big part, which can be divided into small user stories. I just told you, right? One Epic have a multiple user stories. Now, what is user story? Is a simple and short, simple description of feature that needs to be tested. Okay, let's see further example. Now, Epic it see as a user, I need to access e-commerce website. That is a very high level Epic, right? As a user, I need to access e-commerce website. What is a detailed user story for that? Multiple user stories. As a customer, I want to buy a product. That is one scenario. What is that text scenario? As a customer, I want to add products to wish list so that I can check it when it required. That is one. Another one is what? I want to add products to the cart so that I can buy them. So like this, different stories will be derived from the epic. And do not worry, as a tester, you're not going to do this. You will only get once it is prepared. But you should understand what is an epic and what is a story. What is user story? Okay, epic is a big piece of work. Now, as a user, I need to access e-commerce website. So access means it has lot of scenarios. One, he wants to buy a product. That is one scenario. He wants to add products to the wish list. That is another one. Another one is what? I want to add products to the cart. That is another one. I want to add selling to the items to selling list. That is another one. So one epic will have multiple user stories. Okay. This is how it is. Epic 1. There is a user story 1, user story 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, this user story 1 and 2 are assigned to this particular sprint. It might be sprint 1. This might be sprint 2. This is how the allocation happens. Now, who will do the allocation? Scrum Master. Scrum Master will assign. First, this will be assigned to the developers, correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
First,
Yes.
it will be assigned to the developer. Now, let's come back to this point. Now, as a customer, I want to buy a product. The user story, right? Under that user story, let's take an example. As a customer, I want to buy a me share the notepad. Okay. Under Epic, we have one user story. What is that? As a Customer.
Customer
What
need
is it?
to
As a customer, I want to
To buy a
buy a
product.
product.
buy a product. Okay. Now, what are the subtasks? Subtasks will be created, right? Under this, what are the subtasks? First thing, login page should be created, correct? Right? And this will be assigned to the developer one, correct? Now, user credentials, product listing pages, developer two. So like this, as a customer, I want to buy a product. First thing should have a website, right? To access that, those will be created by the developer. Now, developer will create first a UI, user interface. These are all things will be assigned to the developer. Now, this is for the developer. Now, you will be also assigned a subtask, but we'll see how it is. For what? For writing the test cases. As a tester, you should write test cases for the login page. Developer will create the look and feel of the login page. You will create a colorful web page. You will be writing the test cases for that login page. So this is how the epics and stories are created. They created. Let me know. I can see the slide. You see the slide now, right?
Yes, we know.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Epic 1 have user story 1, user story 2. One user story will be assigned to one developer. User two story 2 will be assigned to another developer. And user story 1 will be assigned to the tester. 2 will be assigned to the tester. Developer will do the development. Tester will do the test cases writing. This is how it will be. Now we know what is a Scrum team. We all discussed already. Nothing to discuss more. Now this is very important. This is very important. I told you, right? Prioritization of the requirements. Did I tell you or not in the notepad sometime back?
Yes, we know.
Ideally, again, Scrum Masters is the important part here. You may be part of this discussion or you may not be part of the discussion. Now, remember, people specifically ask testers who are from the banking domain, testers who are from the investment domain. Why they'll ask? Because of this also, because of this discussion. This is very, very important. Now, this is the interview question. People will ask, what is the story point estimation? Generally, this question is asked to the Scrum Masters and project managers. But as a tester, you will be also part of that meeting. What do you mean by story point estimation? Have you done any time? People who are showing lesser experience, less than 2 years, less than 3 years, they can say, I know what is a story point estimation. I never did it. But people above 5 years experience, 4 years experience, they can tell, yes, I know story point estimation. I was part of it and I have contributed. Now, when can you contribute in that meeting? If you have a very good understanding on the domain. Domain plays an important role here. Now, what is the domain knowledge? Example, now we are developing a Amazon like e-commerce platform. Right. Now, obviously, for e-commerce platform, payment gateway is very, very important. Always, always payment gateway is developed and done by the third party, definitely, because they have their own servers. We have to buy their services and we will integrate inside our website and they will collect the payments and they'll take their commission and they process the payments. So always there's a third party vendor. Okay. Now the tester who having proper e-commerce platform, they will tell, hey, working on payment gateway is very, very risky. This is always a confusion job because multiple vendors are involved. Lot of delay in developing, lot of delay in testing. So a tester who have this domain knowledge can only speak about plus minus, good, bad, what of the risk, how much amount of work is required. Without having a knowledge, tester cannot speak anything. That is where domain knowledge is very, very important. Now, if a tester is sitting in this meeting, let's say I'm a tester, I'm sitting in this meeting, I come from a similar background where current project is executing. Now, what happens here is, let's say there are 10 requirements, right? We have discussed. Now we are doing this story point execution. We have joined for a meeting. We have product owner. We have a scrum master in that meeting. And as a tester, I'm also part of it. And there's a developer part of it. Now they'll open all the 10 requirements. Now requirement number 1, they'll pick up, they'll discuss. First point is what? Amount of work they'll discuss. Now, oh, that particular requirement needs lot of amount of work. We need to do a lot of analysis. We need to do a lot of heavy work here. We need to contact multiple people. So they'll give some points for each parameter on the screen, what you see. One is the amount of work. Some points they'll give. Or one, let's always the pointing system generally have this in it. You can see on the screen here, Fibonacci series. So 1, 3, 5, something like that. As a tester, you not worry about it, but having this knowledge is very important. So based on this amount of work for each requirement, some points are given. Or let's say, let's say I have given out of 1, 3, 5, 7. I have given this for one particular requirement. I have given 5 as the amount of work. 5 is a mid value. So there might be having 50% of work more when we compare to others. Now, how complexity is that requirement? Whether it is medium, whether it is very tough, whether it is very complex programming is required, then we'll give a number rating to it. Then we'll see risk. Scrum Master will assess the risk. Tester will also tell the risk. Hey, Scrum Master, this requirement is very typical here. We need to do a lot of analysis on this part. So risk tester can also contribute on this part. Again, they'll give some points to the risk also. And this is another one, uncertainty. So you don't know what is going to happen if we do this development. We are not sure. There might be some unexpected errors. We are not sure about what is coming. So we give some points to that. Out of all those, you add points given to it. Let's say 1, 3, 5, 7, or some whatever the series it is, by Fibonacci series, we give it. Now, what is that? We'll see. See here. 1, 2, 3, 5, something like this. So we'll give amount of, if it is more, we give 5. If it is complexity is little medium, we will give 1. So vice versa, we give points to this, the numbers to this, and we'll add all the numbers. And we'll add all the numbers. Example, if I add all the numbers, number 10 is coming or some number is coming. So like this, we'll give numbers to all the 10 requirements. Each requirement is discussed on these parameters. One number is given to it by adding all those things. Now, the highest number that we get for that particular requirement, based on the product owner decision, the prioritization is happened. Maybe in the descending order or maybe in the ascending order. Depends on the product owner advice. Requirement 1 might got 10 number. Requirement 2 might got 7 if we add it. Requirement like vice versa, we get it. So based on the highest number, they might pick up the particular requirement for the development. Based on the lowest number, the product owner wants, say, no, let's go with the lowest number first. Then we'll start the highest number later on. Okay. Like this, the product owner, Scrum Master will have an understanding how importance and how triviality is each ticket in terms of complexity, risk, and amount. They'll have a clear picture of all the requirements in terms of this. This is called a story point estimation. Generally, is done before the starting of the sprint. Any doubt here?
No, Vinod.
I have. Hello, Vinod.
Mhm.
Vinod, can you hear me?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. Suppose developer has given 5 points for the story. So he has developed the code and he has deployed. So the same story points is applicable for the tester also, or else
This is not
he has.
this is not too specific to development or testing. This is common for everyone.
Okay.
This is common for everyone. Their product owner and Scrum Master will decide based on the highest number that they got it from this calculation. They'll decide which one to go first, which one to go second. Okay,
Okay.
so
Okay. Vinod.
it is not for the developer, it's not for the tester. It is for the overall project. Out of those 10 requirements, which requirements needs to be developed first? Example, now one particular user story is getting 10, highest one. It means amount of work is high, obviously. Risk is also high, obviously. Complexity is also high. Uncertainty is also high. That's where the total of these parameters is coming high. When it is high, it means there is a lot of work is involved. They'll see whether the team having capacity to work on that particular requirement. I have two developers, and this requirement is having amount of work is very high. Can my developer do this? So that all under analysis is done by the Scrum Master along with the product owner. Anyone else, please? That's a good
No,
question,
Vinod.
anyways. Thank you.
Yeah. Clear. Thank you.
All right. Moving ahead, now we understand what is Epic. We understand what is the user story. Now we understand on the user story, every user story will have a story points, right? Now, if this is a normal responsibility. Product owner is responsible for communicating with owners, clients. Anyway, we have discussed already. What is the role of a Scrum Master? How it looks, process flow of development, managing coordination between teams, remove blockers, right? That is we discussed. Now we have discussed already here this point. Just to refresh yourself, product owner will prepare the product backlog. He will take input from all the customers. Product backlog is prepared, which have all the requirements. Then from the product backlog, the prioritization happens based on the story points that will pick up in the sprint. Sprint backlog will have this all the prioritized one. Then the Scrum team comes into picture and they start analyzing the agile cycle. Might be 1 to 4 weeks, 2 weeks, 1 month. Depends on Scrum Master and product owner how the sprint needs to be executed. Scrum Master comes into picture. He manages the Scrum team. He manages the overall sprint, overall cycle. He conducts daily Scrum, which is the agenda. What amount of work is done since last meeting? Plans for today? Any blocks and to progress further? Once one sprint is completed, then we'll have a sprint review before the demo, lead by the Scrum Master. Then once the demo is completed, once the demo is given to the customer, that particular sprint one deliverable will be shipped. It means shipped is not like I'm going to send the code in the ship. Okay, it is something like which is given to the customer with certain agreement. Whether we'll deploy or we'll send it a different way. Okay. Now every time the product backlog is prepared, right? From that we keep on taking the requirements and the product is implemented simultaneously. First month, two requirements. Second month, 2 requirements. Third month, 2 requirements. Fourth month, 2 requirements. Fifth month is completed with all the 10 requirements. Okay. Now, this is another interview question, important interview question. People will ask in the interview, what is the definition of done? DD. What is the definition of done? Now see here, done. You saw a test plan, entry criteria and exit criteria. And you know when testing is completed, it is stated in the exit criteria. When you say testing is completed, similar way, a user story, if the development is completed, testing is completed, when can we say that user story is done? They will define a definition by the Scrum Master and by the product owner. So they mention some condition. If the user story satisfies this, if testing is completed, but don't have defects like this, then it is said to be done. So people will ask in the interview, what is the definition of done? Who prepares it? What is the meaning of definition of done? Right? Definition of done states that it specifies when a user story is said to be completed. What are the conditions or what are the criteria that a user story needs to be met before we say that it is completed or it is done? You understand? Now we'll see this done in few minutes. Okay. We all discussed this one. We all discussed is already done. Now this is an example. This is an example, right? A feature might be a bigger application like Gmail application. Epic one might be out of that whole Gmail application. There might be one big chunk of work like this, and from the big chunk of work we see multiple user stories. Okay, another example is this Epic one user story, subtask, user story, subtask, user story, subtask. Now, this is an example of a school management software where it says customer wants an attendance module to be developed. That is the actual functionality. What is the Epic inside that? Inside that he wants student attendance module and also faculty attendance module. That is considered as an Epic. Inside the student attendance module, obviously, they should have a student login. They should have a student adding attendance to that sheet, updating the attendance, downloading the attendance is the functionality of this particular Epic. Faculty, similarly, faculty able to log in with this username and password. He should have a separate privileges compared to a student. He can add the faculty name and attendance. He can update if someone is not in today, someone is absent, they can update the faculty attendance. If somebody wants to download faculty attendance, they can do it. So this is how the actual feature Epic and user story is divided. Okay. And again, you are not going to be doing this one, but once you become a senior, like a QA manager or very senior, then you'll be doing this. Okay. Any confusion so far? Any confusion?
We know the done means product owner and scrum master decided means that means done, right?
Simple. See, it is like this, right? Who gives the requirements to us? Product owner.
Product
Correct?
owner. Yes.
Product owner will give
Product owner is the one. Product owner is the one who knows everything. Now, he said that the inbox page should be developed. That is a user story. And developer has developed it. We are giving a demo to the product owner. Once the sprint is completed, a product owner, you watch in inbox page. This is the inbox page. Okay, this is okay. Inbox page is ready. Inbox page looks feel good. If he says right, then it is completed. If not, most of the time there will be a definition of done will be written and agreed. In that, it will be mentioned like this: if the story point user story, all the subtasks are covered. Inside user story, you have multiple subtasks, right?
Yes.
If all those things are covered, then definition done is completed. Under the subtask, tester has written all the test cases, executed the test cases successfully. If no defects are there, then it is done. When developer status is done, tester status is done, then user story is said to be done with respect to the definition. That's called as definition of done. It depends on project to project, but you need to understand what is the meaning of definition of done.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
We know one more thing. If we got any doubts in that requirements, the Scrum Master will also know that, right?
See, always Scrum Master should should be knowing it, but the ultimate answer will come from product owner.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Now, how we understand there are epics, we understand there are user stories, we understand there are subtasks. But in reality, how do we manage? How will a Scrum Master manage all this? How many epics are there? What are the user stories? What are the subtasks? It is very tedious, right? You cannot maintain in the Excel sheet. It is very risky. It's a time consuming. You need to create a lot of templates, lot of fields. It is very time consuming. So, so there are a lot of tools in the market which where the when someone is saying agile, right? When they're saying Scrum, then obviously Scrum have this epics, Scrum have this user story, okay? Scrum have this sprint to 1, 2, 3. These all things should be managed. So a tool should be there which can manage all these so that Scrum Master can manage using the tool. Okay, there are many tools in the market. Now don't ask me all those tools because you have to give us training. It's not possible at all. Now, one of the tool, one of the tool. Can you see the screen? Not it?
No, Vinod.
No, Vinod.
No, no.
Yeah, now Notepad is visible.
Right. Out of all, it's a very popular one. 99.9% used in the real projects in the real time. 99.9% used by the product owners. 99.9% used by the Scrum Master. The important tool is Jira. Okay. Now you have studied, you have did practice on Nulab. You have did practice on Zoho. These are all Zoho. Sorry, this Nulab is a defect
Defect.
tracking tool. Correct.
Yes.
Zoho is evolving a lot. Zoho is Zoho is developing a lot. They started with they started with uh, timesheets management, and meaning they provide a tool where employee can log in and log out. Okay, now I'll show you this one example, real example. Mhm. Let me stop sharing. Okay. Now, so Nulab is only defect tracking tool, right? Which is used nothing but It is a test management. It's not even test management. It is only giving us to raise the defects, nothing else. Okay. But whereas Zoho, it was started with time management. Now, what is remember time management? Let me show you. Yes. You see the screen, right?
Yes, we know.
Now, this is the Zoho page where my company is actually using it for the time tracking purpose. Now, what should we do? Right? What should we do is every day we start our work, we need to do the check-in. Every day when I end my job, I will do checkout. Now, this is my attendance. See here, I started working it from 4:30 a.m. How many hours I work? 12 hours. Like this Friday, 15 hours. So though we do, example, I forgot to log in at 4 o'clock, right? That it doesn't matter at all. But we should do a check-in and check-out process. This is the Zoho. This is Zoho portal customized for the timesheets. You remember you used Zoho for what? You used Zoho for defect tracking tool, correct? But they have started with the time tracking. I can apply for a leave. I can apply for a leave. I can check my payroll. Everything I can do it here. Okay. Now coming back to our point. Zoho, I started the timesheets. And now they slowly came into project management tool. And inside the project management tool, everything is coming. Right. Now they are coming up with the project management tool. Now, what is that project management tool? They have a or now they have done the development on the Zoho, and now everybody can use it to calculate the project cost. Okay, and everything, invoicing, billings, everything is there now inside the Zoho. And also they came up with the defect tracking tool also, correct? Which you used recently. Yes or no? Everyone,
Yes, we know.
right? Now, along with that, now we also have the Jira. This is also one of the tool, but much more bigger than this. Much more bigger than this. Jira is a project management tool. It has everything. Type sheet. It has everything in it. Okay. Now, it's specifically used to manage the agile projects. This is they are expert. Jira is expert. If you go to Google, right, let me share that complete screen. If I go to Google and say how to manage agile projects, right? If I come down, see here. So you have one more option called ServiceNow. You heard of ServiceNow? ServiceNow is another technology where they are coming into market in many ways. Now they are coming with agile also. Jira is the one of the tool which is used to manage the project. Now Jira, the word Jira is given by a company called Atlassian. Okay, the word application Jira is given by a managed by a company called Atlassian. Hope you understand, right? What we are right now learning is what is Jira. As a tester, what you need to understand inside the Jira. As a developer, what you need to understand the Jira. As a Scrum Master, what you need to understand the Jira. As a product owner, what you need to understand. So Jira provides different users, different privileges, different editing options based on the user needs. Okay. Now, because you're from a testing background, you should understand what Jira is providing to you, how agile is managed, or how agile projects are created, managed inside the Jira. Okay. All right. Now, one thing now to to manage agile projects, what we need to do? First, there should be project, correct? First, there will be a project should be created. Inside the project, there should be what? There should be epics should be created. Inside the epics, there should be user stories should be created. Inside the user stories, there should be
Subtasks.
subtasks should be created. Inside the subtask, right? Right? Subtask 1, 2 will be assigned to the developer. Then again, 1, 2 will be assigned to the tester. Right? This is what it should be. Now, as a tester, you should not be worrying about what is this details, who will be creating it, not required at all. But what happens is the moment you join any project, okay, the moment you join any project, let's say today you have joined, the date of joining is 24th, example, one day. Right? The moment you join, what happens? You will be completing your onboarding formalities, right? ID card, laptop, everything. Let's say everything is completed. The next step is what? They will raise access request for you. What all applications you're going to work on? There might be many applications, timesheets, blah 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 applications. Now, out of which one is, let's say your project is managed by Jira, right? Then there will be a access request being raised. Okay, the moment your inbox is configured, mailbox is configured, you will receive an invitation. What is that? What do you receive? What do you receive? An
Invitation.
invitation. Now I'll show you this one example. I'll show you this example. Please look at the example. Now we are managing the Kangan project, correct? I told you. Now the moment, so the moment the project started, right? From the from the from the customer side, they will raise. I will be sending out an email as a project manager. I will be sending out email. Hey, listen, I have a new testing resource joined as let's say John has joined in my project. Can you please give him the access for the Jira? Now the admin, whoever is from the customer side, whoever is managing the Jira project, he will send you the invitation. Now you see this invitation now? Can you see this invitation?
Yes, we know.
Okay. Now I will go and click on this accept invitation. The moment I click on accept invitation, you need to change your password. Correct? You need to change your password and you are good to use the Jira. Now creating a project is already done by your admin. Okay, with the moment you log in, right, you can see now let's say your project name is TLC project, you're working on it. You will see that, you will see this project name the moment you click, and you can see, yes, this project is assigned to you. Got it? As a tester, are you going to create the project? As a tester, are you going to create the project?
No.
No, Vinod.
No.
No, right? You will get an invitation from the client. So always you should watch your inbox when you join newly inside the organization. Your project manager will ask you, "Hey John, have you received any invitation from Jira?" You should say, "Yes, I've received it and I've accepted it. I've changed the password." Right now, your project is now assigned. Right now, but let's see how it happens in reality. Let's create one project. Again, Jira will give you a trial period of for 15 days, I believe. You can make your hands dirty and practice this very good, very important. Right now, as I told you, Jira is a management tool, project management tool, and it gives free of cost for 10 days or 15 days to practice. And please make sure you are practicing it very well. Okay, sign in with different. No, shall we create one? Let's see. I'm going to create one username, add another account. Okay, let's create this one. Okay, I'm just creating this. Okay, create with this one. Sign up. What it says. Like, look like already have associated. Oh no. Let's create one more. Hopefully it should not be there. Okay. Good. That is asking. So what I'm doing right now? Yes, what I'm doing right now? And what I'm doing right now?
Logging into the
Not logging. I'm creating the
sign.
project. Guys, please
Create the project.
follow what I'm doing. What I'm doing right now?
Creating a
I'm creating a project. I'm creating a project. Okay. Now, just giving the name, password, click on accept. Okay. Now it says this is important. It is asking this is your site name. Okay. Now you can give it a different name. So I'll just use it as it is. This is how your admin or this is how your customer or whoever is managing this Jira, he or she will be creating a project like this. So what I did so far now, I have creating a project. I've given a username and a password, and it is building the free trial version for me. Okay, now it is giving it. See? So Atlassian is the company name. Jira is the product for the company. Now what else says it is saying? The other day we discussed Kanban. I've told you Kanban is one of the agile methodologies, right? Scrum and business. So it is giving us three options. It is telling us, boss, what kind of projects you want to manage. It is telling select a template for your first project. What projects am I managing out of these three? What kind of projects I'm managing out of these three?
Kanban. Kanban.
Scrum projects, guys. Scrum projects. Scrum.
Okay.
Are we not managing Scrum? We are discussing about Scrum only, right?
Yes.
I told
Yes.
you.
Yes.
I told you Agile is a methodology. Scrum is a framework. We implement Scrum in a real time. We are managing Scrum projects. I select this one. I click on next. I'll wait for to create the template. Okay, what it says. Your first project is ready to kick off, right? Now, I have not created any project, right? My Scrum project is there, but I want to name it. Let's name it with the TLC project. Okay. If you are not familiar with Jira, you can select this one. It will keep on giving you related videos, how to create and all. Okay. But for me, I'm just selecting, I'm familiar. See how this works. Get started. So this is how it shows the how to create projects. Everything will be shown. Okay. Now this is the login page. This is the landing page of your project. You can see name here. It is what? Jira. For project. What project here it shows? Is the project name.
Yes.
So there, yeah, there are other areas we will discuss now. Right. You see the backlog here. See the word backlog.
Yes, Vinod.
Right.
Yes,
Now,
Yes.
right
Yes.
now, what happened here now? You look at this task. We have created the project, correct? We have created
Yes.
the project, right? What needs to be created next? Epic needs
Epics.
to be created,
Epics.
right? Now, how the product owner? Again, this is done by the product owner only or the Scrum Master. You need not worry about how to create a epic. Okay, but it is always good to know how it is created. Now I'll go here, right? I'll go to here. You have no epic created, right? Now I'll create a epic. What is the epic that we have just discussed? We'll go here and we'll take this one only. On. Okay. Right. As user, I need to access. This is epic, right? Okay. Now, one epic is created. See here, right? One epic is created. As user, I need to access a commerce website. This is the epic. Now, after epic, what needs to be created? After epic, what needs to be created? Yeah, user
Stories.
stories. User stories.
User stories.
Okay. Okay. Now, very important here. In Jira, everything is a issue only. If you see, if it is, let's say create, it says issue type. See here, issue type. Generally, English meaning issue is something is wrong, correct? But in Jira, everything is issue only. Whether it is a task, whether it is a bug, whether it is a story, everything is a
Issue.
issue only. Okay. Now what I'm creating now? What I'm creating now? I'm creating a
Issue.
what? Issue.
Issue,
Story.
issue. Story,
I'm
story.
creating a issue. What is that? What is that? I'm creating a user story. Correct. I'm creating a user story. Now I'll just click on create. Inside the project, right? I'm creating a the user story. Right. Now, what is the story? I'll paste it here. I'll write a description here and I'll mention that it is a TLC project. Is that name? Accessing. Okay. Now inside that there will be detailed steps of what is that required. Now let's create a issue. Okay. One. Let's create a another one. here. And what is the second one? I'll create this one also as well here. It's user story. I'll paste it here. For practice, I'm just pasting it same description. And I'll click on see here story point estimate. And the payment. Epic one create. Okay. Now two are created. Now let me also link this one to the parent. Right. Please look at the screen. You might be confusing. It is confusing for the first time. So please look at, as I told you, if you miss anything, you'll be confused totally. What I have done so far, created the project, then created a one epic will have
Stories.
multiple. So I can create one
User
more epic.
story.
There's one more. Yeah. I can create another epic, depends on my project need. But now for practice, I created one epic, multiple user stories. Let me create another one. I have it here. I'll go to create. I'll paste this one. There's a gap. Right. And I give the description same. So just for the practice, generally it will have the detail level of description. And I'll link to the parent one, which is the epic. Okay. Now I can attach by any screenshots. Then I will click on create. All right. Now guys, how many epics I have? How many epics I have?
Two.
Two.
Two epics.
How many epics I have? How many epics I have? Only one epic, right?
For one
Only one
Created
epic,
only
Okay.
three
one
user
epic.
stories.
Yes.
I don't know where your concentration is, guys. Please be here. One, if it is, even if you don't know the answer, you can look at the screen here. Because I'm only having one epic that I'm pointing out. There are three user stories,
Three user stories.
one epic. All right. Now, if I go to board, right? If I go to board, now I have the board looks like three items. One is to do,
To do.
in progress, and
Done.
done status.
Done status.
I told you definition of done just now. This is the done. Right? This is the definition of done. Means we will discuss in detail now in just few minutes. We'll come back to here. Right now we are in the backlog. Now we have one epic, and one epic and multiple
User
three
stories.
user stories. All right, one epic and three user stories. Any doubts so far?
No.
No, no, I know.
No.
All right, very good. You don't have idea, don't have doubts. Okay, now there is a board. Okay. Sprint one. Okay. Now, what I can do, what I do now, we have decided to start this. Now we have decided to start the sprint. Now, sprint should contain work, right? Now, sprint one is here. See, sprint
Yes.
one. But it says there is no work to start. What I do, I just drag and place it here, drag and place it here, drag and place it here. Now in the sprint one, how many tasks, how many user stories are there to work? 3 user stories, right?
Yes.
Yes.
3 user stories. Now the sprint is not started. Now your product owner says, hey, these 3 should be added to the sprint one. Scrum Master added. Will open this one. Okay. Let me open and show to you. Okay. The trial version it is not showing. Okay. So what the Scrum Master will do? He'll say, today we'll have a start date, right? We have discussed. What is the start date? Example 24th is the start date. Now on the day of 24th, you'll click on start. Now we discussed it is a 2 weeks of sprint, correct?
Yes.
Discussed. We have discussed as a 2
2
weeks,
weeks.
correct? 2 weeks. Now start date will have and end date will have. Now sprint one start date, sprint two, like sprint goal to achieve example uh, two user or epic one should be completed. Okay, epic one should be completed. Now the moment I click on start, see here, to do, in progress and done. To do, in progress and done. All the user stories that needs to be worked in the sprint one will be in the to-do list. How many we have? 3 user stories, right?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Once the developer is assigned to the one user story, the Scrum Master will drag and put it here. It says in progress.
Progress.
Now, right? If he opens this user story, see, it is all items here. It is displaying what to do. He can he can specify he can specify that is in progress, and once it is done, this can be moved to the done status. When it can be a done status, as I told you, there will be a definition of done. So your Scrum Master will verify whether this user story is properly developed, properly tested, properly given the demo. Then everything like this, it will be moved. Everything like this, it will be moved. Then once it is done, it will be moved like this. Once it is done, it is moved like this. Now all the user stories are completed, right? This is how your Scrum Master will be managing the project, and this is how you are assigned to this project. Now, let's say this is in progress. Developer will do the developer will do development. As a tester,
Testing.
you will be writing the test cases. Correct? Writing the
Yes,
test
yes.
cases immediately, and you will be doing the testing. You will be doing the testing. Okay? Because of the trial version, it is not doing some other things. moment. Alright. So I know it might be a little confusion. So what we have done, we have we have created a project. We have created a epic. We have
Epic.
created
You have created
three
User
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 stories.
stories, 3 user stories,
three user stories. One epic, three user stories.
Three
user
user
But
stories.
but but have you saw? Let me share the screen. Have you saw uh, so far how the testing is managed here? You did not saw, right? We have not discussed anything about the testing activities.
No, yes, yes.
We only, right? Developers
We
are
only
doing it.
discussed
But
about
what,
what
right? We have not discussed how the testing is managed here on the Jira.
Yes.
yes.
Correct? We so far we created project, we created epics, we understand. We created user stories, we understand. Correct? But how are we going to create the test cases? But if for that, what needs to be done? Right? As a tester, you got the project access. Uh, you able to see the the sprint has been started. There are few in progress. As a tester, what it means to you? Product as a product owner, he can have access. He can see he can see a little more than what you see it. Scrum Master can have access to it. He can be seeing more than what you see. As a tester, you have limited access. You can only see what is required. As a developer, he or she might be having very little access. They can only look at user stories. They can look at the print and everything. Okay, now let me show you a little more in detail. Now at the Scrum Master level, right? He wants to see the overall status of the project. Now he logs in here and see, oh, there are total 3 user stories, out of which 2 are in progress. One is still not yet started. There are few dashboards to create. Now it is a PLC project dashboard. Who can see? Right? I'll just click on save. Now it says there are a lot of other. Uh,
Vinod, we are unable to
me.
see that screen.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah, now we.
Let me. See. So far we were here. We were here.
Yes.
Master logs into it, and he see that there are overall 3 user stories, and out of which 2 are in progress. Nothing has been completed so far. Developers are working on it. Okay. Now there are few dashboards you can create. Okay. Now I'm creating TLC dashboard where the Scrum Master will open the dashboard in meetings. He will open these dashboards in meetings and he will show to you and the development team. Right. Let me add. Okay, first. Mm, uh-huh. Mm, fine. And, select this one. Click on save. Okay. Now this is the dashboard. Okay. Now this is the dashboard. While me in the meetings will show. Hey, see how many are unassigned now? 4. Correct. All 4 are not assigned to anyone. See here. Is it assigned to anyone? No, no name showing. correct? The symbol, see here, this one, unassigned, signing. Okay, all these tickets are not assigned to anyone. That's what it is showing. See, in the dashboard, it is showing, right? No tickets has been assigned to anyone. There are 4 tickets which are not assigned to him. Anyway, this kind of dashboards are prepared by the Scrum Master. And let's say if it is assigned to anyone, if it's assigned to anyone, let's say if it is assigned to me, okay. Now this is also assigned to me. This is also assigned to me. How does my dashboard looks like? The color is changed now. 4 issues are assigned to me. Sorry, 3. So we have assigned 3, right? So now it shows what is the status, with whom it has been assigned, what is the name of the user story. Okay. So far, are we clear? So far, are we clear?
Yes, we know.
Okay. Now we saw from the from the Scrum Master side, from the management point, what is a Jira, how to create project, how to create epics, how to create user stories, and how to see the user stories are assigned or not. Correct. But now, with respect to testing, we did not see anything. We only saw till user stories are assigned. Right. Right. Now, in order to uh, in order to see, in order to manage the testing inside the Jira. So Jira has let's go back to the projects. Share the screen. Yeah, let's go back to the projects. So Jira, inside the Jira, if you wanted to maintain if you wanted to maintain a test management tool, that you wanted to manage the test effectively. So what we do? We design the test cases, we execute the test cases, we execute, if fail, we'll raise the defect. But how it is managed in Jira? So Jira has a multiple add-ons. See here, apps, go to apps, go to explore apps here. So we have this is the one, ZE Zypher. You can see here, Zypher Squad. So this is the test management tool which provides all the testing activities where a user can use it. Okay, this is again the trial version we have free of cost. Just click on that. Right, just click. Click on try it for free. Click on start trial. It says we will tell you when your app has been added. It's still rotating. Let's wait till it is completed. Now it says your app has been added to your instance and ready for use. Now I'll go to my projects, okay? Where is my project here? This is the project, right? I'll come back down. See here, Zypher Squad. I'll click on this one. These things are done by your admin. Do not worry about it. But in the practice session, you need to practice, right? For that, you need to do the steps. Now click here to enable. Okay, great. Now it has a lot of options here. Now you can see something related to you. Test cases, test cycles,
reports, test case, new test case, which looks very, very familiar, right? Familiar to you. The first step is what? First step is what we need to create the test cases. Correct? We need to create the test cases. Now, example, let's click on
New
new
test case.
test case. Now, let's say this is the test case 1. I'm writing for, let's say, Gmail login page underscore 001. Now, I can write the objective. What is the to test the login page? If you have any preconditions, mention it, like username should be this, username should be that, alphanumeric, or any condition specify. Priority we have discussed, low, minimum, minimal, low, high. Here there are 3: normal, low, and high. Based on that, you can prioritize it. This is a test case, not the defect. Always remember, right? And yeah, no other thing. Let's say says create. Let's say create. Now one test case is created. Correct. One test case is created. Now it's in the draft mode. See here. And I'll open this one. I need to add the steps, right? I've just created a test case. Now created any test steps. So you have to go here in test script and add the step one. Now what is this? What is the first step? URL.
Oh,
Let's say URL should be launch. Okay. So example, what is the URL? www.gmail.com. Example. What is the expected results? Right? Gmail home homepage should be displayed. This is my first test case. Now, example, another one. What is it? Step 2. Application should display a username and password. What is the test data? Let's say username is ABC, password is XYZ. What is the expected result? Right? If this username I'll add, if valid username and password given, application should display the inbox page. Example. Right? Now, like vice versa, you will write the steps. If you want to add more, you can. Right? Now, you have created a test case. You have added the test steps. If you go here and see, so there is no test execution yet. We have just created one test case. Now, this test case, once you write the test cases, right? What we do, we send it for review, correct? We send it for review, test cases review, peer review, right?
yes.
Once your colleague or your team lead reviews it, he will approve. Once it is approved, say a tick mark, and if I go to my test cases, it shows the status is approved. It means you don't have any changes to do. The test cases Good. And there is no changes required. Okay. Now it is all right. Now you have created it, right? You have created the test case. Now you verified with your peer colleague, everything is working fine. Now test cases are ready, right? You need to execute the test cases, correct? You need to execute the test cases. For that, what you need to do, first it should be approved. Second one, you will go to a test cycles. What you will create a test cycle. Now this is a test cycle 1. I will also name it. This is a TLC test cycle 1. I'll write the description as this is the first cycle of testing in the TLC project. Now I'll see any other fields here. If you wanted to change the date, planned date for ending, you can specify. Otherwise, always go for click and edit. Why we are creating test cycle? To execute the test cases. Whenever you want to execute the test cases, you need to create the test cycle. Now inside the test cycle, is the test cycle. Yeah, to create the acceptor. Right, I think. To create the test cycle, right? I've created the name of the test cycle. Now I'm going to add the test cases to my cycle. I have one approved test case and I'll click on add. Now the test case has been added to your execution cycle. Now I'll go to this key item and this is my test case. I'll go to my test script. Okay. Traceability, execution. Come back here. No, okay. It should. Yeah. So this is your test case. You will come here and you will see if you come down, whatever you written, say it is the test condition, you have whatever you have written in the test case, it will display. Now inside the test script, now it is displaying few things. This is the step number 1, this is step number 2 you have written. You have written the expected results, you have not written the actual result. Now you will go to the actual URL and see if I launch the Gmail application, whether home page is displaying. Now, if it is whatever URL you got from the developer, right? You will use that URL and launch the Gmail application. Now the home page is displaying correctly. You will write the actual result. Yes, system is displaying the Gmail home page successfully. And see, whatever you did in the Excel sheet, we are doing it in the Jira. That's it. Right? So once you do this, you have to do the, see here, not executed. Click on success. Now this test case is passed. Now I'll go to the second test case, step 2. Right? Now what is the second step 2? Application should display user and password. Now let's say the application is not displaying the user and password. No. Application is not displaying the result. At this time, it is failed, right? I'll select the fail. One step inside the test case, step 1 is pass, step 2 is fail. It means overall, this test case is failed. The moment you find the test case or test step is failed, what I'll go. First thing we'll decide. Example, if there are multiple steps inside the test step, now let's say 10 steps are there, and the step one itself is failed. The home page itself is throwing an error page. What we do? We go here and say it is blocked. It means further testing is not possible. It is blocked. It is the showstopper, blocked. I'll select this one. But now we don't have any further test cases. I'm not selecting anyone. Now what I'll do, I'll go here and do a create a issue. As I told you, in Jira, everything is a issue. Now this time what you have to select, issue type is what? Issue type is bug. Now what is that? PLC, whatever is the description you want to write. Right, it's a Gmail, right? Gmail login page issue example. Now you'll write the steps to reproduce, right? Log into this, launch URL, username, password, whatever is the steps. Just click on create. Now, one defect is created. See here, login page issue. For this step, a defect is created. Okay. I understand this might be difficult in following the complete flow, but if you practice, this needs practice. Otherwise, you will end up not understanding, confusing. This is the everyday job of a tester. In the real time, they will be using this. They'll keep on executing, keep on executing, keep on executing. If find failed, they will raise bug. If find failed, they will raise bug. Okay. And now, see what happens is generally people, instead of writing the test cases in this, in this area in Jira, new test cases, right? So what they do, they will write the test cases in Excel and they will import that Excel sheet into the Jira. That is one of the way. Generally, people don't prefer in writing in Jira because internet should be there all the time. They should move to different screens. So in order to avoid that, generally what they do, people will write an Excel sheet and they will import that Excel sheet to the Jira. How do we do that? Now, I'll come back to Zypher Squad. This is the landing page of Zypher Squad. I'll come back here and I'll see import from Drive. Now I'll go to, because I want to export it, right? Always remember your file, whatever the test cases, wherever it is, it should be in the CSV format. Now let me, okay. Let me share the total screen. See, this is the, you see on the screen, this is the template which I already prepared. Let's say these are the test cases. How many test cases are there? Test case 1, 3, 4. There are 4 test cases prepared. And obviously, these should be the same names to be used while uploading the file. And I have prepared these test cases. And now I'm ready to import the test cases to my Jira. I'll come back here. I'll choose the file. Where did I keep this? Okay. I'll choose the file and desktop. This is the file name I'm importing. Now the file has been imported. I'll come down. Will not touch anything. Check this. This is the CSV delimiter. It always should be in the CSV delimiter format. It means that it is a CSV format. Now, if you remember, you have, let me open that test case. Okay, let me open that. Let me check that where it is. Training sample test cases. Okay. Right. And then let me share screen. I think you have written the test cases some time back, right? And this was the template that you used, right?
Yes, we know.
Yes or no?
Yes,
Right?
sir.
You have used this template. Now, for Jira, this is the actual field names. Now, my first row contains all the field names. But whereas the other template, my test cases contains from row number 11 onwards. Right? So, and of course, the names should be mapped. But it is asking here, if you go back to Jira, start import at row. From which row onwards you need to import that Excel to the Jira. I'm telling row number 1. Row number 1 in this case is what my heading, right? I also need this heading.
Yes.
But when I'm importing this Excel sheet, my row number is different. This is my row number,
9.
correct?
9.
So always
Correct.
you should select the proper row number when you're importing a file. Always check this box and click on next. It says the field name should be mapped. It means whatever is there in the Excel sheet, the field names should be mapped to the Jira test cases, which is on this website. Now I'm mapping. It should be mapped. This is the CSV field. From the Excel sheet it is coming. This is the Zypher Squad field. Test case ID should be mapped with the name. Test case description obviously should be the objective. Step name, leave it aside. Test data, always select, there will be a test data. Test description, there will be a step. Yeah, this is the one, step by step. And the expected results. What is that expected results? This is the expected results. And I have an actual column in the Excel sheet, but I don't have, because anyway we are just loading the Excel sheet. We are not performing the execution, right? Execution we just saw. I can already, there is a box provided. I can just type it, the answer. I click on next here. Now, no data to be mapped. That is fine. Click on import. How many test cases are imported? 4, right? How many were there? There were 4, correct? 4 test cases are there. Now, all my 4 test cases have been imported. Click on close. Now it will display. See, earlier we have created only one, right? Which is we have executed and it got failed. And we have raised one defect. Now these are 4 test cases which has been loaded, which are in draft mode. Now I have to assign it for the review. Now I'll come back to this test case 2 and I'll do a approve. Now, who is doing approving? The person who is reviewing it, right? And
Yes.
if I go to the test script, it all, whatever steps are there inside this particular test case. Now, example, this is step 1, right? Step 2, step 3, step 4, 5, 6. Now, see how many steps are there? Got 6. What is user story 1? Everything is clearly written, right? It has added all the steps here. And now, if it is done, so what we do here now, it is approved. I'll go here and check whether it is approved or not. Now it is approved. Same way I'll do it here. This one, correct? So now Test cases are prepared, reviewed, loaded. Now I have to run the execute the test cases. For that, what I'll do, I'll go to the test cycle. Now I'll create a new test cycle. This time, let's say test cycle to simple name I'll create and edit. Now I'll add the test cases to it. Now this time I'll add this one also. And now my test case is ready for the execution, right? The test case is ready for the execution. I'll go to the execution one. 21. Okay, I'll come down. My steps are here. Correct? Now my steps are here. Now I'll check whether open a browser, enter the URL and click abc.com. Example. Whether it is displaying. If yes, then it is pass. Step 2. If it is no, it is fail. If it is failed, come back here, create issue. Now, example, if it is blocking, right? If it is blocking all further test, what I do, I'll come back here, select this one and click on block. The moment I click select the block, now see all the test cases are blocked. Can you see here?
Yes.
All the test cases are blocked. It means you cannot test further. Then I'll raise a issue. Right? Simple. Again, I raise the issue. I'll assign to the developer. And if I go to the test cases here, now see here it shows red color because there is a defect. This is how we are going to use the Jira. This is how we're going to use the Zypher test management tool inside the Jira for your test management. Now, till today, you have learned. First one is what? Nula defect tracking tool. Second one is Zoho Zero defect tracking tool. Third one is in detail. Now you saw Jira, a test management tool. Out of these three, it's always say that you in the resume you put this. I worked in Nulab, I worked in Zoho, but you should also mandatory put Jira as a defect tracking tool. That will be very, very helpful. It gives more weightage to your resume. But for that, you need to have hands-on. So whatever I did from past 1.5 hours, it takes time for you to practice. Maybe it may take 1 week for you to practice. That is fine. But still you will get more confidence. The more you fail while practicing, that much stronger you become. In the first step only, if you learn, okay, there's a happy path, then you will not learn anything in Jira. You will be struggling for sure. But that keeps you learning. Every time you struggle, you learn something. You have to explore, try to look Google, what is the issue? You have to look it on your own. Try to be self-learning. Look at the YouTube videos. Look at the Atlassian website. Right? While creating project, I have selected the the help. Right? I've selected the help where it was showing how to create project. Quick start. See here, this one. Quick start. I can take help of this, how to create project, how to create an issue. Everything is handy here on all you need to do, how to start with the basics. Everything is here. All you need to do is just browse through. It's a free of cost. I've just registered myself right in front of you. I've registered this. And I'm using this. I'm using this, I manage my projects. I have this is the trial version, right? So let me, I don't know, let me log out. Let's see whether I can, I'll see, just show you. And this is the log what I've done. Now I'm back. Yeah. So this is my real-time project. This is Kangan project. See, this is Atlassian. This is Jira. I'm using Jira for manage this project. Now see, now it is how many projects are there here? See here, how many projects? See, I'm managing this one, this one, this one, enrollment, BK change request, the moment test copy. These are all projects. If you go to model integration, okay, these are all, see, if I look at this, right, this is a customized field I've added. If I look at this project, I see, okay, there are this many in to do. In progress, there are this many. Testing, nothing is there. Done, nothing is there. If I go to dashboards, there's already, see, all epics. These are the dashboards are available. Right, let's see here. See this here. Completed how many? 247. Reviews for testing how many? 10. Closed how many? 9. Design stage how many? 3. Design backlog how many? Ready for execution 12. Here is the dashboard which generally gives a picture of particular project. This is enrollment domain for the students inside the Kangan project. Okay. Now these are the two which will be total status still they are not assigned to you. So like this, you can move wherever based on the stage of this, we can move between these three. Hope you really enjoyed the session today. This is very important session, very hands-on session. So I strongly suggest practice a lot on the Jira, especially don't look at the management perspective. Look at the Jira, look at Apex creation, look at the user story creation, add Zypher to the project, add test cases to it, prepare the test cases, prepare test data, prepare execute the test cases. If failed, raise the defect. So practice all those things, and that will be really helpful. Okay, and always if you have any issues, as I told you, please come up if you have any doubts today or tomorrow. So tomorrow most probably will complete the session, whatever the pending topics. I think majority of the topics are completed, and whatever is required for you to work, that is more than enough I have given you. And of course, the practice is left where you need to practice. All right. Okay.